Wanted to dive right in with the big news of today. Obviously, all eyes on the Middle East right now after Hamas attacked Israel. Israel has now declared war on Hamas. It's a very volatile situation abroad. But what about here domestically? What are we hearing from President Biden? And what are we hearing from some of the Republicans who are running against President Biden about this situation?
Well, there's really been a bipartisan consensus for decades now about supporting Israel's defense in the face of terrorist attacks, previous wars we've had. And I think what you're seeing from the president is a continuation of that. The focus of the White House has been on warning other countries not to get involved in this conflict. If you go back to the Yom Kippur War and 1967, the challenge for Israel was not just the Palestinians nearby, but other countries getting involved. And Biden has asked a carrier group to move closer to Israel as a warning, and he's given a press conference making very clear that the U.S. is watching what other countries do. There's also going to be increased. I mean, the U.S. has long been a major funder of the Israeli military. There have been requests for specific types of weaponry and ammunition, and the U.S. has said they're taking that up. I think the administration has also signaled that they're going to roll additional funding requests into an upcoming supplemental request for Ukraine war funding, which is pretty controversial right now on Capitol Hill and could complicate how that develops. In the presidential sphere, it's been sort of also kind of predictable. The Republicans have several Republican candidates like Tim Scott and former President Trump have blamed Biden for these attacks, for the weakness of the current administration and for the administration's policy towards Iran, which is a funder of Hamas. But it's important to say not evidence was yet that they were directly involved in this attack beyond giving weapons to Hamas. But that's sort of the political rhetoric we're used to on the campaign trail. It doesn't feel right now all that substantive. A lot of the discussion has been around the $6 billion in funds held in Korea that the U.S. government recently allowed to be released in exchange for some hostages that Iran was being held. Republicans are claiming that that is funding what's happening in the Gaza Strip right now. That's not the case. The money actually hasn't gone out yet. There are restrictions on how the money can be used. It's also true that money is fungible. You can divert other funds to spend on what you want. But I think right now there is the bottom line is there is unified response from Republicans and Democrats about to support Israel. There's a lot of support for continued funding for Israel, and the political fighting on the campaign trail is not really that different from what we were hearing before, and really doesn't engage with the actual foreign policy that's taking place.